A massive admission is coming from Trump's former lawyer herself. Now, after Trump's loss, Jenna Ellis was part of Trump's legal team, going on the air, traveling the country, feeding this idea that either they wanted to challenge the results, which initially, as I've always emphasized, is a legal right. They can file cases, but then that curdled into something else, the lie that the case couldn't win. So when those cases kept losing, they just started publicly claiming the whole thing was stolen. Now, Ms. Ellis is, in a way, changing her story. She's saying in a sworn statement under legal pressure that she knowingly misrepresented the facts in several of her appearances and public statements, basically admitting the lies. This is part of an agreement to accept public censure from the Colorado bar, a reminder that people who work in court still have more accountability, perhaps, than others who just go around lying. Ellis agreeing that her work for Trump, quote, caused actual harm, undermining the American public's confidence in the election. And we should note that in our efforts to fact check, hear from sources, and cover this in real time, here's what happened when that same individual, Jenna Ellis, joined us on the beat. This was just 3 weeks after Trump's loss. This was in November.
The election was stolen and President Trump won by a landslide. And how you're mischaracterizing this, I think that your viewers need to understand the truth of this.
I just quoted you a whole range of sources, including the Wall Street Journal. So I just...
Let me finish.
Look,
I'm trying to answer.
I think we have to take... I understand, but you made a mistake. Hold on. Take a pause, and I will let you...
Election integrity issues.
I'll let you go again, but we have to take a pause. If you make false statements, you don't just run roughshod, okay? So you made a false accusation that I had to deal with. Hold on, and then I'll let you go again. If you've seen this program, people get their turn. I had Rick Gates on here recently. He got time.
I'm trying to answer your false statements because you're accusing us of something that's simply not true.
We weren't accusing, we were reporting facts, and now, interestingly, she has had, under legal pressure, to admit that. That is some of how we, all of us, in our team effort here in the newsroom, try to research and fact-check guests and the stories we bring you. Meanwhile, you have Special Counsel Smith looking at the January 6 cases. I mentioned at the top of the show with that New York Times story about the New York DA. This is the other development. Dozens of grand jury subpoenas issued. Many are requesting information about this same lawyer I just showed you, Ms. Ellis. And there's the wider reckoning on lies over at Fox News. Tucker Carlson basically owning himself. This is also, again, part of the insurrection probe because all of it loops together. These lies have to be amplified to a certain degree to get you to what we saw on the 6th. Carlson, though, knew he was lying. Indeed, he hated Trump. He knew the election wasn't stolen. But here's what he was saying to his millions of viewers.
I actually love Donald Trump as a guy. And I know Trump. I've known Trump for 20 years because I work in the media, and I just have always gotten along with him. Trump is like totally charming and engaging and fun and interesting.
That was not true, because in private, Mr. Carlson said all the opposite things. What we are seeing here, even if it seems slow and it doesn't always seem to be working in real time, is over time there are leverage points. The Dominion Voting Company has more leverage over Fox News sometimes than, say, all of the millions of Americans who were lied to. That has to do with how court cases and civil liability works. Ms. Ellis is getting in more trouble than some other liars because she wanted to keep her bar license, including having to basically admit what she tried to mislead on this program, although we tried to fact-check her in real time. And then there are other areas where, as we've reported, the accountability has not caught up with some of these individuals. We want to bring back legal writer for New York Times Magazine, Emily Bazelon, on I would say, a pretty busy news night. Emily, is that fair?
Yeah, for sure.
So I mentioned Ms. Ellis. Professionally, she was a lawyer representing the then losing outgoing president of the United States when we had her on the program. I showed a little bit of it. And with all due respect, I would say no need to rewatch the whole interview, in my personal opinion. People got a sampling of that. But I think it's striking that then she kept, and I say this with due consideration, she kept lying on the program, which is why at times we had to go back and forth. Now she's admitting the lies. I'm curious what you think that tells us about measures of accountability and whether you think these processes, however slow, with bar sanctions and with other forms of accountability, are they constructive?
I think it's important when people admit that they have been lying about really important public matters on national television. You were fact-checking her in real time. You pointed out to her that she was making a false statement, and you were citing other sources to her. But in that moment, she had lots of incentives to keep going because she was getting lots of attention because she thought that was her job in representing former President Trump. Now she is being called to the carpet, and the Colorado bar has rules. You're not allowed to knowingly recite falsehoods as an attorney. And so in order to keep her license, in order to comply with those rules, she has to admit to what she did. And that confession is important because the public is trying to sort out here what's true and what's not, who to trust and who they cannot trust. And so to know that one of the sources surrounding Trump at this very key point has admitted that she was not telling the truth, I think that's significant.
Let me show some of the other misrepresentations. I showed a little bit of her on that interview, but here we see a coordinated effort to manipulate ballots, overwhelming evidence proving the election was stolen. The election was stolen. She claims Trump won by a landslide. She claimed, and look at this, Emily, we have over 500,000 votes in Arizona cast illegally. Does this set a different standard? You mentioned the incentives for someone, again, you might say low bar, but for someone else to simply say next time, even if they have, as you said, the incentive for their client or their campaign to say, gosh, yes, you can make the best I want to say, best argument without putting forward falsehoods for your client. And lawyers do that in court, I think we know. But when you say there's 500,000 votes missing, I mean, it's a blatant lie. It was a lie at the time. And does someone look at this and say, oh, well, that's where the line is? And if they take an angry call from their client, so be it. But they could then say back to their client, yeah, you saw what happened to Ms. Ellis. If I start lying about hundreds of thousands of votes, I could be disbarred.
I mean, that's the idea of accountability here, right? And the bar is trying to set its own norms and standards so that people know when they get legal representation, they shouldn't expect their attorneys to go and lie for them on television. Their attorneys should make the best case they can within the boundaries of truth. And so I think that's the rationale for this kind of discipline. Whether it works the next time, we'll see. I think it's also lucky for Ellis, at least in the quotes that you're showing here, that she wasn't specifically accusing Dominion of having, done something that turned out not to be true, because the libel suit is about accusations against Dominion specifically. So that's a kind of potential upside for her. If you're generally lying about the election, there isn't a libeled plaintiff who can go after you in court.